just some nuggets I got from the last week of 4 Agreements. It's so profound, and it totally ties into business, because these agreements that we have, they affect us. They make or break us. And so it's just really a mindset training, really digging deep. So anyway, talking about freedom. Whenever we talk business, right, what is freedom to us? What is success to us? What is freedom? Well, in the book, the author talks about freedom being who we really are. How often are we being who we are? Or are we truly conforming? Are we conforming to society? And the reason we do that is because of deep-rooted things that have been spoken over us, childhood experiences, emotions that we have attached to experiences, right? And so he talks about that we, all of us, are victims. We act like we're victims. Some people are worse at it. Some people have overcome, but we all have that tendency to go back to the poor me. The poor me that went through this. Well, if you only knew what I went through. Well, if you only knew, if you had the parents I had. If you had this or that, right? So, and then the other issues that cost us freedom, which is being who we really are, is because of judgment. How often do we not say something or do something because we feel like we will be judged? And how often does that happen when we're recruiting into our network marketing, or recruiting into our coaching, or trying to serve other people? We're worried about what they think or what they'll say, etc., right? So in order to be free, we have to learn and master and overcome the victim mentality and not worrying about judgment. So it starts with ourselves. That's the thing. We can sit back and say, well, I don't care what people think. You do, until you stop internally, right? Judging yourself. We're our worst critics. Now I want to talk real quick. This was profound. In the book, the author talks about our parents, because a lot of things are deep rooted from our upbringings, right? The people who raised us, the people who were involved in our lives. Maybe it was a grandparent, maybe it was a teacher, maybe it was a pastor, somebody you really trusted that maybe spoke negative over you, even to the point where some people were really truly neglected or abused, okay? So the way the author talks about handling this and how to release that victim mentality is that the abusive parent or the abusive person in your life didn't know any better. Do they need to be accountable for their actions? Absolutely. They made a choice, okay? But how we release this off of us, because understand that when we carry that, we continue to give the abuser power. We continue to give the judgmental person power. So this is about us, not them. They will be judged. There will be karma over those people, and God even says He will vindicate. There will be vindication in front of the enemies. So we have to do our part of releasing. Okay, releasing. Anyway, let me tell you what he says. The abusive person don't know any better. Chances are they were programmed this way, they were taught this way, and we should really feel bad for them. As bad for them as we feel for ourselves, right? If we're going to be victims, go ahead and be a victim for them as well, because, which don't be a victim, but you know what I mean. We've got to get humble that they didn't know any better. This is their programming, their fears, their beliefs. They don't know any better, right? So what we can do to release it is say, look, it was wrong. What was said, spoken over me was wrong. If you were abused, it was wrong. But we have to release and move on so we don't give that person power. But what do? People still live in the past. They still live in the moments of being abused when it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It's time to get over it. It's time to release that power. You're still giving that person power, right? I know that's easier said than done, but this is the work it takes. This type of training is the work that it takes. So anyway, we can get freedom back the minute we stop ourselves from blaming other people. Well, it was our parents. It's the government. It's my circumstance. If you only knew, Kibi, if you only knew. Hey, those are your choices to think that way. because you can truly have the success you want in your life when we stop blaming our circumstances or other people. And that includes spouses. How many times do you think I hear business coaching? Well, if my spouse supported me, if my kids supported me, do you think that people in traditional business get their entire families to support them? No, successful people go without them. They figure it out. They do it, and they quit being victims, right? Success is success in all areas. Oh yeah, he talks about how people get married. Okay, so listen to this. This is cool. People get married, then they're not happy, then they get divorced, but they're still not happy. They go to another marriage or they live by themselves and they're still not happy. Why is that? They're not free. Just because someone breaks free of another person, the power is still over them. In fact, we carry baggage from one relationship to another until we look in the mirror and start fixing ourselves, right? And the author talks about how we're truly hanging on to memories, long time ago memories, past experiences, that we have to break free from that. And truly freedom, meaning being who we really are, means we detach those emotions to experiences. And that takes work. It takes work, and you need training like this, okay? So I don't push these trainings. If you don't do it, that's fine. But I will continue to recommend the trainings that I line up with, that I feel you will too, and with people I trust. So by the way, July 16th is the next 4 agreements. I will be in the class as well. I'm going to retake it with you. We're at 3 more spots. So if you've already told me you're in, that's cool. But 3 more spots for this. It's only available for Inner Circle or Breakthrough participants. If you're watching this and you want in, that's cool, especially if you're going into Inner Circle, because this group is highly discounted for my clients only. If you were to go buy this with Daryl, just you off the street not knowing me or in my Inner Circle, this program is $1,500. So you're getting it at a heavily discounted price. So with that, I want to talk about another thing in the book here. He talks about throughout the chapters of parasites. There are parasites in our lives that are holding us back. But it's our choice to allow the parasite to suck the life out of us. Again, we can't blame the parasite. How many people blame the person, the parasite, the negativity, instead of looking in the mirror and saying, what can I do to get this out of my life, right? But I want to give you the definition of a parasite. A parasite is a living being who lives off of another living thing that sucks the energy out of that living thing without any contribution in the future. Think of that. How many people do we have sucking the life out of us? But we allow it. We allow it. So how do we overcome? Well, this book talks about how to break these agreements. And, I can't guarantee in a 6-week class that you will break agreements like that. This takes work. But I can tell you that in the last class, we had someone quit smoking. I know personally, not to give a lot of detail, but a couple people who manifested things from their vision board like that from this class. It's a combination of Breakthrough and 4 agreements. Everybody had a positive experience. If you go look at Linda's blog, she talked about that last night. And I'll post it in the group here so you guys can see it. Hey, good morning, Sally. And I see Lenore. Hey, thank you for joining. This is live, so you guys can watch the replay. I'm talking about the 4 agreements. I'm kind of wrapping up here, but thanks for joining this morning. But anyway, the people who took this group last session, tremendous results. I'm going to post Linda's blog because she talked out loud last night in the group about how she's overcoming. And it's because of the coaching and training and things that are lining up that sometimes we wonder, well, I can't take on anymore. I'm doing this, and this. You got to really sit back and look at all the training and coaching you guys are taking to see, is this providing value? But at the same time, you got to stick with it. So this is a 6-week class. The first week or second week, you may not have like a life-changing event, but by week 3 or week 4, you're like, oh, I know why I'm here. I know why, because something really relates. Hey Pat, hey Lenore, thank you so much for watching live. And as y'all watch the replay, do hashtag replay, definitely go back to the beginning because I go through some golden nuggets from this book. By the way, we had our last group session for 4 agreements last night. The new session will be opening up July 16th, and it's only available for my clients. That's folks in Breakthrough and Inner Circle, okay? It is a crazy price, $79 for 6 weeks. Can't beat that. This type of course is $1,500 if you just purchased it with Daryl. I'm going to let Daryl do some introduction to let you guys get to know him. There's no obligation to take this class. I just like to recommend things that I've taken that work for me. And by the way, I will be joining the group in July, which starts July 16th. I will be joining you as well in that group. So anyway, I want to talk real quick about this parasite. So the victim mentality and the judgmental things we have that hold us back from freedom. Again, freedom being be who we really are. Are we being who we want to be? That's freedom. That's the definition. It's not money. It's not success. Freedom is being who we want to be without worrying about fear and judgment and the poor me, okay? Where the parasite comes in is that the victim mentality and the judgmental stuff we have, we're the parasite. It's us. It's not other people. When we self-doubt, when we have fear that lets take root, that's the parasite. We have to overcome our own mentality, our own mindset. It's us. It's about looking in the mirror. And so here's a couple ways the author talks about that we can break some of these agreements, these old bad agreements, okay? And you guys will learn this as you move on into the 4 agreements. And by the way, you may not want to take it in July. There'll be another session probably in September, another one in November, etc. Number 1 is awareness. Well, I'm hoping that this video will help you have awareness that this happens to me, it happens to you. It's going to keep happening until you break free. Okay, good morning, Mary Ellen. You make sure you watch the replay on this. I'm wrapping it up. We get to the point where we say enough is enough. I want to change. I want success. I want freedom. Enough is enough. So what do? You have to plug into stuff like this to learn the tools. You guys can go get the book on your own. Everybody that took the class this last session had bought the book before and read it and did not have the experience they had in the collaboration of group setting. So now I had never read this book, already applying a lot of these principles into my life, I assume because I've had training, lots of it, right? But it's so cool to see, oh, I'm doing this or I'm not doing this, and this is good stuff and it's totally lining up. Number 2, we have to have transformation. We have to be a different person tomorrow than yesterday, or we'll continue to do what we're doing, right? That's like the definition of insanity. We want to break free, but we're not doing anything different. So the transformation piece of this, how to change, how to be free, how to break those old agreements are crucial. And then number 3 is the intent. Are you intending to break free of this victim mentality and judgment? And the only way we do that is mastering love. Mastering love and mastering gratitude. So anyway, he goes through the books and he talks about how to starve the parasite, how to face our fears, how to gain control over our emotions. These are all skills that we have to know and master in business. That's why I promote this. It's a life coaching and inner core training. It's 6 weeks. The next session is July 16th. If you want more information, let me know. I will see Daryl at the end of the week. He's coming over and we'll do a live together so you guys can get to know him. And maybe it's not for you this time, but keep it in the back of your mind for next time. We will be running these group sessions about every 2 months. They're crucial. There's 3 spots left for July. So let us know. I wanted to provide these nuggets. At least if you don't do the group with us next time, you go get this book. It's called The 4 Agreements. But with Daryl, he provides a lot of additional resources and videos and articles, and then that one-on-one, it's just, I can't even put a price on it, doing that with a group of people, especially people with like minds. So it's like iron sharpens iron, right? So as you guys are watching today, anybody in the 4 Agreements last session, which was Amanda Demps, it was Raylyn, it was Noelle, it was Penny, Linda, Lori K, and I know I'm probably leaving somebody else. I hope I'm not. Anyway, anybody who took the class last session, if you will drop a comment, bring a takeaway. I'm so sorry if I left you out because I'm trying to go from memory of who all I seen on the WebEx last night. It's just crazy. But anyway, I can't keep all that in my mind. That's crazy for me. If I did get it all right, that's crazy too. So, but anyway, drop a comment. Let us know, you know, a takeaway or something. Hey, Diane, make sure you go back and watch the replay, okay? Good morning to you. Provide some value here in the comments for anybody who's looking or thinking about taking this class. And by the way, I highly recommend it. Even if you're in Breakthrough, it's not going to be an overwhelming of too much work. This is like a little mini book class. It's not a lot of video content. It's not extreme homework, nothing like Breakthrough. It's really just a little mini book class. If you can factor it in while you're doing other things, do that. If not, maybe look at the September class and look into doing that, because I highly recommend it. It lines up with coaching and business. It's really mindset training, inner core stuff. It's life coaching, and it's at a very, very valuable price to do this with group. So with that, I'll also post Linda's blog in the group. And if you guys are watching live, thank you for your support. Thank you for hopping on this morning. Make sure you go back and do #replay and watch the replay. Good morning to you, and see you later. Thanks.